Right, Blues fans, post-match reaction. Birmingham City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. So the unbeaten record stays intact, which for the most part I would say is pretty much the only positive of tonight's game, other than obviously getting the point as well on the board. Overall, obviously disappointment, because no disrespect to Sheffield Wednesday, but based on that sort of first 20 odd minutes, obviously we scored the goal, great finish from Stano by the way. We were in control of the game, we did look threatening, we probably could have gone on and scored a few more. We dropped off all of a sudden. They started to grow back into the game a little bit. And then the first goal we concede is very, very poor again. And I think we can all agree here, and probably a lot of fans watching, no disrespect to the kid, but Cashin can't start the next game. He's out, because you can't make mistakes like that in this league and then expect to play the next game. Sorry, but you can't. And I think he knew, because he went off and he looked disappointed, he looked dejected. Second goal, I'm even more pissed off about the second goal, if I'm completely honest, because the first one's an individual mistake, and that can be rectified because you just have to be better at what you do and concentrate harder on what you do in this league. That second goal is ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, it's a great ball in, but you've literally got 5 players in the 6 yard holding your line. It gets past all of you to the back post and it's gone in. Are you shitting me? You have to stop that in this league. How many times? Who the fuck is on set pieces as well in training? If you can't defend your goal like that at home, no disrespect, but against teams that their XG is what, 0.4 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then you can see goals like that, and then you have to go up the other end in the 97th plus whatever minute it was for Dimmy to score. No, you can't be doing that, because you're going to get hurt against teams in this league. And again, no disrespect to them, that's a game we should be winning tonight. You know, and me and my old man there, and Dan was watching it at home, but when we were sat there at the ground, I thought we're not going to come away with anything here, because we didn't look like it.
No, I thought that as well.
And it's papered over the cracks, and I think a lot of fans watching would agree with us, and it has done that. And I think again, I don't want to go on too much here before you guys speak, but I just want to round off and say that I think the overall play, because we had 20-some shots and 6 or 7 whatever on target, right? That was pretty good, I think, and I think that we let it slow down a little bit in the first half, and we should have pressed the gas at 1-0, and we did that too much last season because we'd get away with it. But in this league, you can't. You have to stay on the gas, and you have to push teams, and you have to go for the jugular, and we didn't. The overall play was okay, but it's very interesting that we scored our goal and started to look threatening when we went more direct.
Yep.
We were pounding the rock, but we didn't create anything clear-cut. Apart from Stano's goal. Very interesting, isn't it, about that? So anyway, I'll let you guys talk, because I'm going to go on otherwise. So
yeah, I think all your points there are very valid there, to be fair, Joe. And like I say, I think we dominated, didn't it, really, for the first 20-25 minutes of the game. It's interesting, like you say, how our goal came about from direct play as well.
Yeah. And
actually came back as a result of, pressing, really, the defence, didn't it, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you could argue it was a lucky bounce and rebound off the defender, but the point is you take advantage of the confusion if you're a striker like Joe Stansfield. Goalkeeper hasn't committed, defence aren't entirely sure where it's going to land or how it's going to be, and he takes advantage of it, slots it into the corner. Well taken goal, like you say, as well. Good to see him back on the score sheet as well.
Yeah,
and you feel as though we should have pressed on at that point, didn't we? We didn't. We retained possession. We weren't pressed back in our own half by Sheffield Wednesday playing well. They had the foot off the gas, didn't they, at that point? They didn't really come back into it. And then the equalising goal just came out of nothing. It was route one again, like what we saw in a couple of the goals against Coventry, or certainly at least one of them anyway, this past Saturday. And we just didn't clear our lines. Cashin, like you say, he cannot be doing that at this level. 2 mistakes now in the same game. I didn't really think a lot of him on the back of the Port Vale League game a few weeks back, but this was just so much worse. Even just use your weaker foot, just cut a cord. Why are you trying to clear it with the outside of your left foot? You're already on the back foot at that point. What are you doing?
I think Allsop should do better as well.
Allsop should definitely be doing better.
Straight at him, and it's a little bit of power, but you expect to parry that away, and he didn't.
Yeah,
and we were watching it like, oh, that's going in. And and like you said, it came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah, it did absolutely come out of nowhere. And like you say, there is a fair to say that I think Allsop should have done better, having watched it on TV at home. Obviously, I had a slightly better view of it in that respect, but it was just as soon as it went for him, thought, that's going in, that is great. As that happened. But I suppose it's a little bit unfair in some ways to be critical of Allsop, because he has been very good for us in the past, but he's another one who didn't have a particularly good game tonight. He didn't have loads to do, but that stuff, I think maybe there's even a I know you probably should say blaming Cashin again for the second goal we conceded, but is there an argument to say that also maybe should have come for it?
It's difficult because it's a very good ball in, and where he puts it in, for me, your defenders have got to take care of the ball there when it gets in the 6 yard. You've literally set up a line, so when it's taken, you drop in. You then clear it, so why is no one getting on the end of it? You know. Anyway, Dad, what were your thoughts?
Two lots of 2 words, really. I suppose some people might expect me to say fucking shit or something like that, really. But the words I'm thinking of, first of all, is set pieces. Right, set pieces. What a big subject that is, right? Not just about conceding them. So great balling from, you know, who should not be named on this on this podcast. Exactly, yeah. And all his quieting down little antics. Thank you for that, Mr. Bannon.
Yeah.
But you know, a good ball in, but nonetheless, again, badly defended.
Yeah.
Coventry, another set piece. Stoke, another set piece. Port Vale, recycled corner. Yeah. How long is this going to go on? Right? How long are we going to carry on with whatever defensive system we've got at set pieces? I don't know whether it's some kind of hybrid of zonal and man marking, but it isn't fucking working.
No, it's not.
We're letting in too many goals from that. Somebody has got to look at that system. I mean, Friday, fuck me, we're up against the team that's going to have it's going to be like the fucking dam busters, the amount of the ball's going to be in the air. Yeah. So we've got to sort that out. You know, set pieces are going to be their bread and butter on Friday, and we've got to be ready for it.
Yeah.
And that may have some... You know, that might have some bearing on who plays, who the personnel are. You know, maybe Neumann comes in at right back now, Boz is injured, etc. The second set of 2 words is stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
It's getting ridiculous, right? We cannot afford to have individual errors continuing. And Cashin's not only guilty of 2 in the same incident tonight, but he was guilty of 1 at Coventry on Saturday. He cannot be doing that.
No.
Yeah? And okay, the kid's come in. He's trying to cover Robinson, and again, his presence in the team is because of a silly thing that Robinson did, really, on Saturday. So the mistakes have got to come down, got to be cut out, and the people that can't do it have got to be out the team. Yeah, okay.
Simple
We've got
enough.
you know, there's a limit on the squad numbers, but the bottom line is, if you fuck up too many times, you're out. It's the BPF rule, isn't it? You keep doing it, you lose your place. I'm sorry about that. On a kind of more positive note, I guess I would say, well done to Dimmy. Kept pushing all the time tonight.
Yeah.
Fantastic finish, by the way.
Fantastic effort and a great finish, as you say, Dan. You know, well done to him. Solid game by Mr. Cochrane. Thought he did okay tonight. Thought he did well.
I thought he did a
Won
good
his
game
headers.
as well.
He got down the line well, good crosses into the box. Then on the back of that, we were agreeing, weren't we?
Yeah.
Iwata had a better game tonight.
He did.
Yeah.
And a lot of everyone who was at St Andrews tonight, even watching at home, because you might have heard it as well, Dan.
Yeah.
The boos when Doyle was subbed off.
Yeah.
Now he was very influential, particularly in that first 20 minutes. He was winning second balls, he was winning his tackles, he was moving us up the pitch with his passings, you know, from deep. And you know, Doyle's different in the sense that Paik, that Doyle sits in a little bit deeper in the actual pivot and Paik's a bit higher. But that worked tonight because I also feel like we had better cover when we did lose the ball high and get caught on the break.
I feel we did
because you have 2 in front. But we're exposed because Paik's caught forward in most games, and then you've only got a screen in your defence. So I think Doyle works at the minute, and I think we go into Friday with that. But yeah, Iwata obviously had a very good game as well. You know, he looked more solid tonight, collected his second balls better. And one of the weird changes as well, and I don't know whether this is something that they've worked on or it was just forced, which is a bit weird because we had a right back on the bench in Samstead. But Iwata played right back for the last, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
He did pretty well.
Actually,
weirdly, he put some good balls into the box and he looked all right and he tracked his man and all the rest of it. But it was a bit scary because of the way the game was going. I was like, oh my God, what are we doing?
I felt
Why
like
the
that
fuck
as
is
well.
he at right back? It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it did seem odd. Strange decision, really, but it did kind of work, didn't it? You know, I think the other player I'd like to kind of throw in there, and he has his critics because of the kind of the basic nature of the kind of player that people think he is. Lyndon came on and did another good shift again.
He plays
Caused
like
trouble.
he wants the number 1 spot, didn't he? I mean,
he does, to be fair to him.
But yeah, he was, as you said, he was fantastic.
Came on, got himself around, you know, kind of made a pest of himself, got stuck into challenges. You know, he's not a world beater, but what he is, he's a catalyst at times, you know, and we're going to need him Friday, you know, and I think probably from the start.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to battle a team like them at home where they've been vulnerable.
Yeah.
You need to combat them. Yeah. And I think he's the guy that's he's earned it. I mean, okay, you can say, well, he didn't earn his spot necessarily against Coventry, but he got in the team.
Yeah.
But it was difficult for him in that game because he hadn't trained as part of the first starting team during the course of that week. He couldn't replicate what Duxy's role was going to be.
Yeah.
Against Wrexham, it's a different story.
Yeah, it will be. I think as well, to look at another compatriot at the forward line to Lyndon Dykes as well as Kyogo. Felt he made a few good runs tonight, came at the defence, drawed a particularly good foul in the first half from Palmer as well, fought really well for the ball there.
Yeah.
But again, I'd seen it already in the post-match comments from a lot of Blues fans on BBC Sport and other forums and platforms as well. They're getting very tired with his lack of end product now. I think maybe today suited him a little bit more in terms of the game it was, but I think definitely, maybe you're right, Dad, maybe it needs to be Lyndon starting from the get-go against Wrexham, now that we haven't got Dush available, because obviously he's out injured.
Well,
maybe that's going to be more his type of game than Kyogo.
I think Lyndon will be in the 10 now, because you've got no one else to fill it. Dawes not going to play in the 10, he's better deep, so Kyogo has to play 9. And one thing I will say is, Kyogo is, we were talking about this on the way back, weren't we, Dad, that he did have one chance tonight where he's got to be tucking away.
Yeah.
Because he took too long and he's hesitant. And I get, like, yes, it's a confidence thing or whatever, and I'm part of the fan base that thinks that if we bags 1 or 2, he's off. But there comes a time where you've got it. But one thing I will say, other than that tonight, is I actually think it was one of his best games tonight, because some of his passing was really nice.
It was actually.
You actually watch him tonight, like some of his passing when he had his back to goal, or like on the turn, on the half turn, and then pinging it out wide and moving us up the pitch. I think that was really good tonight. And injuries wise, for Friday, I agree with Lyndon Dykes been in there. We need a bit of that muscle. We need to be able to battle, particularly when we defend our box as well, not just talking about attack. But I think Kyogo will be interesting on Friday, just because I feel like they get a bit rattled with the ball at the back. You don't want somebody like that chasing you down. So I think that's that type of ground as well. I think that'll be effective. So
I agree with that. Yeah. It might be a combination of the two of them is something that's going to be effective.
Yeah.
Lyndon's going to keep the centre backs honest in terms of aerial challenges, which we are poor at. I also think that with Boz getting out, we can't afford Iwata at right back.
No.
I don't think it's Samstead's kind of game. I would like to see, Phil Neumann at right back.
Yeah,
he's played there before. He's got pace. He's the kind that could get forward and whip a few crosses in. And also he's another aerial challenge, isn't he? If we've got 3 or 4, big guys in there, that is going to compete with what they're good at
on both sides, defending and attacking.
Exactly, yeah. And then a few nippy players like Kyogo might be there, like maybe Dimmy as well. Coming working in, off and around Lyndon. Yeah, that could cause some. What we need is chaos.
Yeah, we do.
We need to cause chaos.
Yeah, we do.
Right, and that could be the chaos. So I don't know what the injury situation is, but I think we do need to be able to take the game to them. I now think that a point there isn't acceptable.
No,
I think we need to go and win. We need to go there and win.
Yeah, because particularly off the back of tonight, just because okay, they've picked up a little bit of form, Sheffield Wednesday now, and all the rest of it. In my opinion, we should be beating that team tonight.
Yeah, I think we should.
We've got more quality than them. We're at home. We should be beating them, and obviously they're going to be galvanised by what's going on and all the rest of it, but. I think on Friday, I do want to give a mention to this real quick. I just thought of it. When we equalised, Chris Davis was down the touchline and in the huddle with the players.
Yeah.
Now, to me at least, what that's saying to me is, why are you celebrating taking a point here? We should have been. I would be in the box still. In my technical area, because I'm not happy with a point. Are you shitting me? Yeah, we should have been there and winning that game tonight. We're at home against a team in the bottom, and all the rest of it. For me, at least, it's more of the mentality. The mentality there, like it's a bit of a, oh fucking hell, yes, thank you, Dimmy. You got us a point. No, that's not acceptable. Because even when don't get me wrong, we celebrated the goal and we scored and all the rest of it. But after it, I was still pissed off.
Yeah.
Because we just robbed the point, in my opinion.
I think it'll be interesting to see his post-match reaction in his interview. I mean, none of us have seen it yet, have we, to be fair? So it'll be interesting, his comments. And I know there's been a little bit of frustration with him maybe not looking at things properly in terms of the perspective of some Blues fans, not identifying the issue, that we're not particularly positive in the way we carry the ball forward, not getting shots on target, more like with the Coventry game. I know we went down to 10 men, but we weren't playing well before that either. You know, I take it the point that Coventry are a very good side, and they are, but
Yeah.
some Blues fans feel as though maybe Davis is missing the point a little bit at the minute, and like you say, maybe it's that change in mentality of, you know, well, thank you, Dimmy, you know, got us a point. Well, it's not really acceptable, as I say. No disrespect to Sheffield Wednesday, but they were both preventable goals, and they weren't exactly threatening.
That's
before
the better
that
point, actually. Yeah, because I think they, you know, they're going to be a decent championship side. It's a fine margin lead, but you are right, Dan. It is. The point is that it's less about what probably they did there. It's more about we should be defending our box better.
Yeah, we should be. With the quality we've got available
We should not be
as well.
conceding goals like that.
No,
and if you don't, you're going to win that game 1 or 2-0 tonight.
Of course.
Yeah, I think as a final point from me, I'd like to say that I was impressed with the way that they stuck together as an opposition team. Sheffield Wednesday,
They did.
Their fans sang
They
throughout. Did. You know, there was a lot of songs obviously about the ownership situation. I think they got a round of applause from the Blues fans when they sang a couple of them. I personally, I guess we collectively would like to wish them all the best in terms of that situation resolving, so they can have their club back. And they were very effective. You know, they did the things that they needed to do. They'll be gutted the fact that they couldn't get 3 points. But and you would be, wouldn't you? You know, you don't want to concede like that. But
No,
you know, they were effective, and that's a lesson for us to learn. You know, being effective. You know, all the stats in the world that support you about shots on target and possession. If the scoreline is still level at the end of the game, you know, who's been the most effective?
Yeah.
You know, if a team is kind of struggling for resources at the bottom of the league and they took a point from you at home, then you would say they've had an effective game.
Yeah.
So that's something for us to ponder on, I think. But, you know, peace out for me now, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a case of a bit of bittersweet tonight, isn't it? We'll take the point, like you say, it's a point on the board, isn't it? But onwards and upwards, and we've got to be at it. We've got to be ready for Wrexham on Friday, and we've got to be taking the 3 points there.
Yeah.
And again, no disrespect to Wrexham, as much like to Sheffield Wednesday, but we've got to be up for it, and we've got to get these fuckers.
Yeah. We have to be up for it on Friday, and I think probably most fans watching this, I mean, let us know, guys, what you think of obviously tonight's performance, and as I'm sure you will, and obviously what you can expect on Friday. But for me, and I think probably all of us here, 3 points.
Yeah,
We've got to be
agreed.
going there
It's got to
to
be.
fight, to battle, to take 3 points. You know, we know what it was like there last season when we played there and took a point.
Yeah.
For me, we've got to be going there and trying to win. So, but yeah, let us know what you guys think of tonight's performance, taking a point against Sheffield Wednesday. Next time we come to you guys will probably be on Friday, the post-match reaction to that game. So, until then, keep right on, and we'll see you all soon.
Keep right on.
Keep right on.